What is your beef? Why do you have such a problem with me?
Can we get the real Andy? I would prefer the real Andy.
Oh, let's get the real Max. I'll take off my mask when you take off your mask, brother.
Because who's your new favorite YouTuber, Ian, that wanted to be on the show with us?
The Madman. The Madman.
Mad Movie Man.
Let's bring on Max Movies because he scares the living shit out of me. Hold on.
Oh, wow.
Mad Max says, I think you should apologize. Right? I'm sitting here in a goddamn torn down pool house.
I don't even know who
the
you
pool house
are.
is torn apart. Okay, it's torn apart because I'm remodeling on my $70 webcam. Okay, I'm no better than you.
Movie Madness Entertainment. Welcome.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome to people in the chat. Please, if you're new to the channel of Movie Madness Entertainment, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, notification bell for everything happening in entertainment. I'm sorry I'm late tonight. I was helping my parents. I got, doing yard work. I had a plumber visit. I hope everyone had a decent Juneteenth if you recognize the holiday, and those who reflect on American history here and African Americans, and what they gone through to get this holiday, or I mean what they went through to get the freedom, really, and then what this holiday represents. I appreciate that it's a new holiday there, and reflect where we are now too, and hopefully things get better for everybody, honestly. So I hope some people had a nice day off. I did. I slept in a little bit. And then I went to my parents, and it was like a time warp. My mother's wasn't doing well. She's not moving around really well. So she's like, I'm starving and I'm not feeling good. I can't even make dinner and I'm still hungry. So I ran the Costco, got a rotisserie chicken and meatloaf and mashed potatoes. And then the meatloaf had to be in the oven for 60 minutes. She's like, I can't wait. So I took out the mashed potatoes and I put it in the microwave, and then I cut up the rotisserie chicken and made a bag salad and made my parents dinner. I was helping with my niece's Switch, getting it all set up for her when she gets back from her trip to Japan, which is a school trip. And Perp, I'm glad you and Donovan are here because I deserve an apology from a lot of James Gunn fans, because James Gunn, I was just going to do the NCU, the Nintendo Cinematic Universe, because I'm really, really excited for it. But I hope you're having a good day too, Perp. I don't know what that stream was about earlier. I don't know if it was just you wanted to play music. I hope you're doing well. Hope everybody's doing well. I hope the world does well. I hope the world does better. Yes, you do owe me an apology. Absolutely. I'm starring this comment. You don't know what literal hell I've been through just to give constructive criticism to James Gunn. Even the industry. Even the industry. And that's where I think I deserve somewhat of an apology from Perp, honestly. Because James Gunn basically confirmed my concerns with how the industry works in that article when he's talking about things scripts aren't finished in Hollywood, and where movies are and why movies are dying, not dead, is to the processes there that have happened for years. And that's probably why there's so many issues and how things have gotten so toxic. Now, everyone is accountable for their own toxic behavior. It does not excuse toxic behavior, but the industry's bad baggage laid out into the public gives ammunition and makes things horrible for the people that just want to be here and appreciate. So James Gunn basically confirmed a lot of my concerns about the industry this week. And then today, it blew my mind when he even confirmed that he didn't really like that promo with the cross-eyed Superman either. You know what literal hell you guys put me through when I said that looked bad? And you know what? It's probably not going to be in the movie. Now, honestly, he could have missed it because he's the busy man. I said he's bitten off more than he could chew. And I'll send you a link, Perp, if you want. For spreading misinformation, I don't spread misinformation. Fine, I'll send you a link right now. What am I talking about? I'm talking about legit stuff. I love movies. I want the industry to succeed. James Gunn basically confirmed some of my concerns there about the way movies are made in these big IP movies. Now, not like indie movies and horror movies and other, like not big IP franchise films. This doesn't seem to be as prevalent. When I said I appreciated how James Gunn was transparent about some of the movies from his slate, we're not working through the writing phase. They might come back, but the honesty there is not something you get from Kathleen Kennedy and other executives, even Kevin Feige. Mostly Kathy Kennedy. Feige, I think, has deserved benefit of the doubt more than Kathy because the cinematic universe for Marvel was going on all cylinders. They made all kinds of shows. They had movies and TV shows at the same time and were successful. And then they dropped the ball a little bit. And I think it's getting better. But yes, James Gunn even confirmed that the special effects he might have missed it. And I am tired of being called a hater. I'm tired of it. Honestly, it could be something that James Gunn misses, and if enough people, we could actually help make the movie better. If there's something that he missed, he's so busy. Maybe, he could be completely transparent and honest when he said that doesn't show up in the final movie. Or maybe he heard people talking about him like, I kind of agree. It doesn't look great. I kind of missed that. We need to adjust that in the movie. So you're not going to have a cross-eyed Superman in the movie. Nothing against, I don't want to shame people that actually are cross-eyed. I don't know, what I'm saying? But that was not the intention for Superman to look that way. It looked bad. And I was just being honest there. And I was bombarded by negativity, by toxic positivity is a real thing. And then the industry is a real thing, that these issues are happening. And an industry insider that should know, like James, has confirmed some of my concerns. Does that mean it happens all across the board? No, but definitely happens at Disney. And Disney owns most of the IPs I'm thinking about, like Star Wars and Marvel. It can work. And I know people go back to the original Star Wars. It wasn't a finished script then. It can work. But when it becomes the template for a lot of these IP movies, it becomes a disaster. Hello, Perp.
What on earth are you talking about?
What do you mean, what am I talking about? For one, even you got mad at me when I said that
James Gunn said something about scripts
in an article this week.
So what did I ever argue with you about scripts? Isn't it the complete? Isn't it? Well, no. Isn't it the complete? No.
With Kathy Kennedy.
It's the complete opposite with James Gunn. In fact, when he first came in, one of the things he said he was going to do was he was going to greenlight completed scripts, which is what we were praising him for.
Yes.
Right.
And that shows that there was the opposite happening. And we know for sure it was happening at Disney with Marvel.
Yeah, and then
it was also happening with
Star
Wars.
I acknowledge that, right? I've acknowledged that, and I said now she's taking her time actually having scripts, and you are critiquing her for that.
That is your cope.
How's that my cope?
I will explain. You're assuming that it's not that Kathy has changed and now she's doing the right thing and waiting for finished scripts and making sure that
okay,
you're assuming that.
Yeah.
she's doing better now than she used to. And the reason Ray movies hasn't started developing yet is because they want to do the James Gunn template. But
they're making sure that the script is correct.
That's what your assumption is, okay?
Yeah.
I think that's possible. But as someone, no, let me finish.
So what do you think's happening?
But
the scripts are good.
I'm trying to tell you.
Go ahead.
I'm trying to tell you. But as someone that's watched Lucasfilm and Kathy and all these projects, it's possible that things are better now, and that's what's happening. Or it could be Disney Star Wars under Kathy the way it's been since the beginning, and things fall through because she can't get it together.
But you see how you just jumped all over. No. This is why you owe me an apology.
This
is why you owe me an apology. You just jumped around. No, because then how did it? If we're connecting what James Gunn said, right? We're trying to connect what James Gunn said.
That there's problems in the industry.
They're green lighting scripts that aren't completed. What's been the problem with Star Wars? What's been the problem with Star Wars?
They were green lighting stuff all the time without
exactly. And now they're not. And now they're not. Right?
They just did with the Rogue Squadron with Patty Jenkins. They made a whole teaser video.
What do you mean they just did? I thought that was years ago.
They just did. They greenlit a green.
What they just did was show the Mandalorian trailer to a group of VIPs.
They had a Ray movie announcement. They had a whole panel and they didn't have a script ready. That's why it's bad. They're having issues. So you're assuming the positive angle of it.
No.
No, they have a big,
and that's what James Gunn. Okay, yeah, they're in development. That's what they have stuff. What she's doing, and maybe she shouldn't be doing that because you guys obviously don't understand. No, because you guys don't understand. Because you guys fucking don't understand what in development means. And it completely screws up.
There's lots of
really. So then, why are you pitching about her shit, Patty Jenkins going down? Because something in development.
Because you're saying that she has it you're assuming she has it together now, and things are different. I would like that to be.
I'm going off what you started this off with, which is scripts were being greenlit without being completed. That was a problem with Kathy before, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So she's not doing that anymore. So what do I owe you an apology for?
You don't know that.
What has she greenlit recently?
The Ray movie, the Rogue Squadron movie.
How recent was the Ray movie? How recent was? How recent were those?
Even the Sean Levy and Mandalorian,
and that's the last thing that she
came
did
to fruition.
The last thing she did announce wasn't the Ray movie. It was the Sean Levy movie, was it not?
Yeah, that actually's happened.
And so now she's learned already, and she's not giving up on the Ray movie. Still in development. Which is what you're making fun of her for. Something that's in every like even James Gunn is doing that. And stuff is in development. It's like, oh, Sergeant Rock in development didn't come through when it wanted.
I'm just
actually in development. Like, what do I owe you an apology for?
I'm because you call me like a hater, but this is an industry problem. This is an industry problem with these projects.
Not with Kathy anymore. Not with Kathy anymore. The last thing she greenlit, the last thing she announced, it seems like it's going through. The last thing she announced, the last two things she announced are going through, are they not? Mandalorian and Sean Levy movie.
So 2 out of 10, and I got to start praising her.
Again, you're not acknowledging that she's improving.
That we'll have to see the quality.
Mm-hmm.
Andor was a great step in the right direction.
Yes.
So
we already seen quality. We've already seen quality.
Whoa. Three recent releases: Acolyte, Skeleton Crew, and Andor.
Yeah.
And we haven't seen the movies come back to the theater in 5 years
because she's taking her time for that.
So if I see
which is what we asked her to do,
and then even Mandalorian Grogu is really great, I'll be like, okay, things are back on track. Andor did have successful numbers, but it costs a lot of money
and critically,
and it's critically acclaimed. It may be for awards.
We're not making money off it, so that's it. She did her job there.
So
what else?
I would like to say at least 2 projects in a row that are if they're not great numbers, at least successful in some aspects.
She's setting up for that, so it doesn't fail again.
Okay.
You're not giving her anything. So James Gunn, everything James Gunn said correlates, which is stuff that I've agreed with. So what have I like fought you on? It's the Kathleen Kennedy. You turned this into Kathleen Kennedy again, and you're still wrong.
No, I'm not wrong.
You're still wrong.
These were industry.
You are. No. The last two things she greenlit are following through. She's learned her like the stuff you're bitching about from 2 years ago. Are they coming out or not? You don't believe they're coming out anymore?
I believe Mandalorian Grogu and Sean Levy's seems like it's filmed.
And those are the last two things she announced. Unless I'm missing something. I'm not a nerd like you guys.
Okay, actually, and Ahsoka season 2, I think is starting to film.
Yes.
Okay, so things look better. Things do look better.
So
I'm saying,
which has been my argument. That's my argument. So you concede to my argument? No. You don't concede that things are looking better and that she's actually listening. She listened to the fans. She's taking her time with the movies while still producing stuff for the TV.
She actually's gone.
Everyone said to have a coherent story, coherent lineup.
All right.
That was what everyone was bitching about with the prequel, not the prequel, the sequel trilogy.
I'm saying I'm not happy there were issues. I'm saying he validated some of my concerns with the industry for years, whereas I was just
like, who didn't know that? Who didn't know that the scripts are constantly being? Wait, when have I ever said that?
You and Joe are just like the movie. Well, maybe Joe. The movies have been great. People just don't show up.
They have been great.
There's not
they
any
have been great.
Star Wars.
They have been great.
The sequel trilogy, even
they have the prequels.
The sequel trilogy. The issues with the sequel.
I don't like those, but that's fine.
Yeah,
I don't care.
All right. Well, maybe I don't mean to. I will make this apology to you, Perp. Sometimes I conflate your and Joe because you share a lot of similarities.
We're team movies. That's why
I kind of
we're team movies.
I kind of
you're team anti-movie.
I'm not anti-shit. I'm not anti-shit. Take that. Now you know me another.
So you're pro shit. You're pro shit.
Shit 3 times a day. Yeah, that's healthy.
Max is pro shit.
No, you know when you that's another thing that happens when you start getting healthier. Be regular, everyone. And if you don't, get some activity.
Do your regulars.
Yeah, you should be regular.
You owe
but that
Crazy Joe an apology.
What do I owe Crazy Joe apology for?
I don't know.
I love Joe. I hope to see him next week.
This started off so wrong. Where's RJ?
I was gonna wait till tomorrow, but the news. Did you know what James Gunn came out with today?
What?
With saying that there was a problem with the one TV short with the cross-eyed that everyone was memeing on, and everyone hated on me when I said I didn't like that. Even he doesn't like it.
Sure.
And Donovan owes the whole chat an apology. Donovan, go follow Perp, please, because he's been wanting you on.
Donovan, he does follow me now.
Oh, he does? Good.
Yeah.
Oh, please follow him.
Snatch that. Snatch that guy.
Let me see if I could find. I tweeted too much today.
This movie broke people, man. Crazy.
What, Superman?
Yeah.
I think I want people to have some fun. We're about to get Superman. If don't.
I know it is getting worse.
No. You know why?
There's going to be a group.
You know what?
I know. Okay, I don't think there's gun fans, but I don't think there's gun gang, like a real gun
yeah,
gang
there is.
Gun. No, what it is Gunn's Superman. I don't think they're fans of Gunn. I think they're huge super pro, maybe toxic positive and unjust Gunn Superman. Just that. Not Gunn in general and all that shit. Just this new one. And you could say some of that is for sure a counter, like they use it as a counter for Snyder, like they're using it to take shots at Snyder, for sure, and the fans of Snyder.
I'm trying to find,
but like a whole gun, like the gun sickos or whatever the fuck.
Gun nuts.
I don't buy it.
John
gun nuts, yeah.
Roca of the hot mic confirmed it today on Twitter. He's like, yeah, there's a toxic gun fans. That's what he said. Because he talks about rumors about James Gunn. I don't think
they're toxic levels yet until if the movie doesn't do well. Then we'll see. Then we'll see them in final form.
I finally found it here. And there's another EW article. And I've been to be fair, even if he missed this, like there's a whole argument of should he have missed this? I actually say he has more excuses than anyone else working in the industry to miss a visual effects shot that's not the greatest to be released for promotion, because this man's busy. Like I said, he's bitten off more. How can he do everything? He's making deals with outlets for exclusives like Entertainment Weekly. He's going to all these conventions. So this is what you owe me an apology. See, Roka is a hack. Can I be honest? I think Donovan's the reason that Roka said toxic gun fans, because I've seen you in the mic in the hot mics chat, Donovan. I've seen you there. Okay. Anthony, thank you. You're my witness here.
What's up?
Do you remember how negative people were towards me when I said I didn't like this shot?
Yeah, and I agree. It was not a good shot.
Yes.
Because you
and they call me just a hater.
Yes,
just waiting to hate.
And not, Perp, let's be honest. It was not a good shot. I don't understand. It's not. Like, it wasn't.
No, he wasn't.
I agree with people. It wasn't.
I didn't care.
No, I figured something out about Perp this week. He sometimes argues just to argue for the right to like something that he doesn't even like.
Yeah.
What was the other thing we were talking about? I'm like, I don't even think he likes this. He's just arguing that someone else might be honestly excited about this shot.
And also like it's funny how when people was
this was also like the first like Superman flying thing that they saw with the twist and all that. So everyone was excited for it.
There was no reason to be the first version of the whatever you could call it flight.
Isaac, please be nice to the chat here. I don't know who you're responding to.
Yeah, like you could be me, anybody. No, I'm playing.
I will correct. Listen, Anthony, you're a valued member.
Stand for nothing, laughing.
But I correct the chat. Okay, please.
No, thank you.
No, thank you.
no.
See, that's what I'm not. Axel, don't correct people in the chat. Don't correct other people in the chat, please.
Hey, Max, stop correcting the chat.
Unless you're my mod.
Oh.
Okay. Mods have the right to, but let's just be nice to
Max, stop correcting James Gunn. Stop being mean. Stop criticizing.
I'm not being. But Donovan, you absolutely owe me an apology. You went so hard at me and Sean O'Rourke. Now, Sean O'Rourke, I love him.
Now that is a name. Look at that name. Look at that name in chat. Look at that name in chat.
I didn't see it yet. Hold on.
That is a name.
I'm not highlighting that. I've seen.
I know you're not, but like you cannot ban that. You better not ban him. Don't highlight it, but don't ban him.
I'm not going for that. That is crazy.
I don't know what troll came up with that.
That's
today.
a good
I don't know
name.
who it is. They obviously follow multiple channels. I'm not that. See, I am not acting in bad. Perp, do I want Superman to be a success?
I don't think he acts in bad faith. I just think he's ignorant, Donovan. There's a difference.
No, bro. Literally,
I'm not ignorant either.
Max,
I demand some respect here. I know what the F I'm talking about. I've been following movies for years. There's issues in the industry. It could be better.
You have listen. I don't think you have. I don't think you have a hate boner for this movie like Sean. But you do have a hate boner. But you have a hate boner for Kathleen Kennedy.
I do not hate her. No.
You have a hate boner for
her. What ridiculous nonsense.
I've come to terms more that it's partly.
Sean has a hate boner for this movie, and that's fine. We all have that one movie that we're just like, fuck that movie.
I will make a slight correction about Kathy that I got wrong. Okay, first off, I underestimated her power. She is that connected. But I did put too much of the blame
Could be
on
the
her
deep Hollywood.
And no, I'm doing an actual apology to Kathy Kennedy. Don't you want to hear it?
Yeah. Wait, I want to make sure Voltaire's here. Voltaire, are you there?
Well,
Voltaire.
I will say that at first I put more favor towards Iger in the situation where I put just as much blame as to Kathy and Iger and the stockholders as once they bought that Star Wars IP, they wanted her to deliver Star Wars the trilogy in so many years.
Yeah, which they should have taken.
So I don't put it on her that she got different directors, probably to try to make the timeline that they wanted. But they really should have gave some breathing room for that, and it would have been.
We could talk about J.J. Abrams.
For one director. No. Okay, yeah, J.J. Abrams deserves some blame too. I'm saying I
don't know how you leave in the middle of
Can I finish, Anthony? This is my apology to Kathy.
I just hate J.J. I'm sorry.
No, we get it. I don't hate anybody. Okay, I'm saying I believe that the mandate and the pressure she was under to deliver once they signed the dotted line, they probably said, Kathy, you get the trilogy done these dates. And they never moved those dates, and they kept every release date.
And we'll give you the money.
And
to
they
bring back
probably,
actors.
and when there were some issues, they probably should have slowed down, delayed it, and also had one director, because it's very hard to have different directors working on a cohesive story over a trilogy that's that connected. So I do apologize for that part, Kathy. I put too much blame on you and didn't share the blame with Iger and Disney itself. Is that fair?
Yes, that's fair.
Is that fair?
And J.J. Abrams too.
In retrospect,
no. My main thing is we don't know exactly what's going on, who says what or anything.
No, I do know
that's
they
my
would not
point
change
for all this.
when stuff happened with Carrie Fisher.
They didn't change the release date. They should have delayed.
They didn't change the release date.
Yeah,
when the director dropped off, they didn't even change the release date. Then when they dragged back J.J. Abrams and he had to do.
I mean, they made $1 billion from it. Maybe if they did change the release date,
it's a success.
No shit, but like that's what you guys. That's like, oh my god, it's
but damn it, no, that's short-term success. But then I am not going to accept that there's not issues if they haven't released the movie since then. Well, after Solo.
Why are we even talking about Star Wars? What's going on? I just got here.
Because he wanted an apology, and he somehow crowbarred Kathleen Kennedy into this when it had to do with James Gunn. And that's why I say he has a hate boner for her, because this had nothing to do with Kathleen Kennedy. And somehow I get in here, and I'm like, what do I need to apologize for? And he goes, James Gunn said this, and Kathleen Kennedy does this. That's what it turned into.
I have zero boners for Lucasfilm Star Wars.
What do you want an apology? Wait, hold on.
I don't have any boners at all for that.
What do you want an apology for?
Because
James Gunn said that the scripts are being greenlit outside of being completed.
He basically
it's like that's what he said when he went in there.
When he had that interview, RJ, where he said that he went into the problems with the industry and why movies are dying, was his quote. Is one of the major problems is things are started without a finished script. So he basically confirmed some of my issues with the industry. But you act like everything's fine, you and Joe. You act like everything's status quo.
The quality of the movies are good.
I don't know.
No,
they pull together. Yeah, no, I think movies are good.
Even James Gunn confirmed that's not the case.
That's fine. He could have his opinion.
Now
you're taking his opinion. I disagree with him. I think movies are great now. Like we've had fantastic movies. They haven't done well. I think
this is where I've been wanting to get to Movie Talk for years, from an insider to actually go out on there and say these things. Especially one of the people in charge of a whole universe. James Gunn's in charge of a whole universe. This is an amazing moment.
Sure,
we can admit the real issues, and it's not woke. And it's not all this other stuff. It's not race swaps. It's not gender swaps. It's what's happening. These movies, these IP movies are being rushed for release dates. And they had the cushion before.
Because you bitch if she doesn't release a movie in 5 years. That's different. That's different.
I'm saying, like,
and we're talking about big IP movies, but this one's different.
Before they stopped, they were
unbelievable.
No, I've been following this, Perp. Maybe you were working.
What does that mean?
Maybe you were working on a project at that time. You weren't following the actual development of these projects as close as I was at this time. Before they stopped movies, am I correct, Anthony and RJ? They actually.
Is this you just like somehow like subconsciously just upset that you had to follow shit that fell through?
No,
you're kind of mad you wasted your time.
No, I'm
Go ahead.
So before the big pause on Star Wars movies, which I also correctly predicted. I said I said Star Wars movies are not going to be in the theaters for quite some time. I said that. I confirmed that. There's a video of it. Yep. They actually said, and RJ and Anthony, you follow Movie Talk too, you can confirm this. Let's try 2 Star Wars movies a year. I think we can manage 2 Star Wars movies.
And they released 2, yes.
Yes.
And everyone hated them.
Because
so that was the template that they wanted if they were actually having success.
I know, and everyone hated them, and they decided to take it back to formula and concentrate on good stories, which is what everyone was asking them to do. And now you're bitching that they're not releasing it fast enough.
No, I'm not bitching that they're not releasing them fast enough. Now I'm saying at least we cannot stop admitting that there wasn't a problem. Now that we're getting to some correction, that's where I want to be. There were issues
Why are you
That's
bitching?
where
Why
we're
are you
at.
deciding to do this
I'm
when
not-
they're correcting? When they're doing
Because
good now? When they had
I got
Andor,
so much
now they have two
hell is
movies.
being-
They have two movies down the pipeline, and now we're bitching.
I'm not bitching. I'm saying
You are.
thank you, James Gunn, for the validation of concerns. It's been horrible with all this toxic positivity about not being realistic about the issues in Hollywood.
Okay,
And it is refreshing.
I
It
have
is
a question.
refreshing. And I want the
Hold on.
industry to succeed. And I want people, you know what? And also
Kathleen Kennedy clipping
and
through
we're
her
also
jacket.
we're
She's
also
fake.
at a point that an executive just doesn't get a golden parachute with Zaz. This is a moment in time. Zaslav wanted a raise, and they took a pay. He has to take a pay cut. Thank God, instead of the people at the bottom that have student loans and whatever in the industry. Thank God, an executive has to pay the price for
Can you
failure.
define what toxic positivity is? What is your definition of toxic positivity?
Ignoring reality.
You mean the past?
Like the I would say.
You mean 2 years ago? Ignoring 2 years ago?
Ignoring reality.
No, but reality. But we're ignoring now.
Being aggressive towards other with actual constructive
Analyzing
criticism.
stress level.
Being that dog in the house at the fire and the memes,
got a
like
vape.
everything's fine here. And I think if we truly want to improve a movie, first off, I hate when people say movie talk is dead. F that shirt.
It's not dead, but you're killing it.
I'm not killing it all. I love this stuff. I think
you and RJ apparently.
I think what's killing conversations
What did I do?
is boxing
Nothing.
people
that was a
in,
joke to the
boxing people in what they should say, what they shouldn't say, what they should talk about. I think all of this stuff is great for movie talk. As long as I'm not doing cop out stuff like, oh,
That's
it was
what people
woke and
doing
that's
that
why it
horrible
sucked just to get clicks.
People just can't get
No,
over that.
There's
bad
so
suit.
much to talk about in entertainment, and I'm planning to get back to the theater. I have my ticket.
You're not even doing the good shit. You're not even doing the real good talk of entertainment, which is that Blake Lively versus Baldini shit.
Nobody
Nobody cares about that. That shit is juicy as shit.
No. We can do that tomorrow night.
About
I
them
need
too,
to be
bro.
filled in on that.
Nobody cares
And
about
honestly,
You rather talk about.
I
shit
don't
that
want
might
to.
never
I don't.
happen.
Don't care about
Can I be honest with my hesitation on that?
What?
It seems like everyone starts to hate him, and then everyone starts to hate her, and
I know it's back and forth. That's what I'm saying.
No, I don't want to jump in on the wrong way and be. I don't. I want.
You don't want to be jumped in the wrong way. You've been wrong about Kathleen Kennedy for years.
I have never been wrong. I have been wrong about Kathy. I haven't been so wrong about Kathy Kennedy.
So wrong.
No.
You just apologized to her a minute ago.
No, I said I apologize because I put too much blame on her and not the environment she was forced into.
Yeah,
she
you're
was
very
forced
wrong.
No, she was forced into getting different directors for the trilogy.
Thanks,
and
Obama.
now that what the hell did Obama have to do? If anyone, it's Michael Bay deserves more of the blame because movies were filmed without a finished script before him.
That's tunnel vision. That's when you started paying. You were paying attention to movie talk.
No,
it should be John Woo. No, John Woo.
No, but he made it popular. He made it popular.
He did.
With the success of Revenge of the Fallen, the industry looked at that and like,
no. It's when you guys started paying attention to that bullshit and it got it big. He didn't make it popular. It's like people noticed because people were talking. All right. Why was Bill Clinton's cheating scandal bigger than JFK's cheating scandal? Why was no one talking about the JFK cheating scandal when it happened?
I don't know.
Because of the media. Because of the media. It's because of what when because of the media. Media has decided Monica Lewinsky shit. Everyone was talking about. Media decided to report it. In the 50s, when John F. Kennedy was with Marilyn Monroe and all those ladies, the media was like, yo, we don't talk about that. That's a private thing. Okay. And so that's exactly this. It's why did you know about the Transformer shit? Is because of there was more entertainment media and all this shit decided to talk about it. But movies have had trouble productions since the dawn of time.
Oh yeah, I know that. Yeah.
Okay, so why? What do you mean he popularized it? You guys popularized it for that movie.
No,
what happened
for big IP films like all these
Transformers
sequels.
Movie talkers popularized it, not Michael Bay.
Let's ask RJ and Anthony because me and Perp have been saying a lot here. What do you really? I agree. This always existed.
You guys talked about it, and you guys bitch about it, and you guys make it the standard.
I think the industry adapted it as normal template after Transformers Revenge of the Fallen and then the first recent writer's strike. And that's where they just started greenlighting shit over and over and over because that massive success of Revenge of the Fallen. We don't even need a finished script. Let's get this, keep release dates, start filming. We'll fix it later. And then it wasn't just Kathy. DC did the same thing. Solo and Justice League were done at the exact same time. This was what the industry was doing. We'll fix it later. And man, did they learn a big lesson from those two.
Solo's a good movie, though.
It doesn't matter. Justice League and
Solo better than Justice League, though.
Justice League and Solo came out after the Revenge of the Fallen thing with the writer's strike, and they're like, "We'll fix it later." And they became so massive and bloated. They almost both of them doubled the budget, and both of them severely underperformed. And that that's why no one's really doing that kind of thing anymore. But it wasn't just Kathy. It wasn't just isolation. It was an industry thing. They were like, "Oh well, we could get away with this shit." RJ, what's your thoughts on this? And Anthony,
you know what happens when you don't? You know what happens when, like, this is why you got to take your time. It's like one or another. And like, because what happens, why did Paramount not have this problem with Transformers? It's because they let Michael Bay do whatever the hell they wanted. There was never any consistent story, coherent anything. One movie to another had it didn't fucking matter. Story did not matter.
It started to make less money.
Yes, but what I'm saying is that why Paramount did that is because they wanted those movies out in a certain time, fast. And they let Michael Bay do whatever they want. Otherwise, you got to take your time. Look what happens when they do take their time with Transformers stories. How are those movies doing? How are those movies doing with the good stories? Taking their time.
I mean, the last one, what came out in 2023?
They broke consumer confidence first, Perp. That's what happens. When you get that fast money and you oversaturate with junk, you break consumer confidence. This happens in video games.
No,
too.
but when you guys keep asking for shit quickly and fast, it's going to be shit. That's
You're
why
saying
take their time.
You are actually blaming the consumer for speeding up the release dates of Transformers movies.
For the specific example of Star Wars, for the specific example of Star Wars, yes.
So the sequel trilogy, we were demanding to see it in a certain time frame.
No. It was bad, and you guys were demanding that you guys take your time and come up with a good, one coherent story. Big story that puts everything together. It seems like that's what they're doing between Ahsoka, Mandalorian, all this shit.
I don't think
that's why it's taking a while for these movies to come out. That 5-year gap that you've been bitching about.
For those two examples with Transformers and the sequel trilogy for Star Wars, I don't think they chose those release dates because the demand was so high that they had to push them that close together. RJ, Anthony, what are your thoughts on that?
For the sequels, the original or Disney's?
I'm so lost. I don't know. Like, what is your question?
I don't remember. What was my question? Well, first off, where do you think that if you believe the industry jumped the shark with filming, like James Gunn gave some examples of scripts not being finished and locked before starting filming, release dates, and the quality could potentially have slid in Hollywood. It's subjective, but if you think some of this quality has slid and they've been more focused on release dates and constantly pumping out stuff, where do you think it really became an issue? I think after Transformers Revenge of the Fallen. This is the first time I remember, wow. Where did you think this, and do you think it is an issue?
Like, Jaws has the most famous production woes ever.
I said it.
From 1975.
Okay.
George Lucas. Talk about the George Lucas script. What happened with Star Wars and the script?
Yeah, but
what happened to that original Star Wars script? That shit was made in the editing bay. Like, come on. What is it? Transformers is the first one we remember where they worked around.
I said you could cherry pick certain instances in the history of Hollywood.
Literally, not even cherry pick. Literally every movie you probably know of.
Okay.
All the famous ones have like famous production problems.
But as movies become more and more prevalent and these IPs get bigger and bigger, you have more people working on them, and not every director can do that. Not every director can pull it together in the end, like George Lucas or Steven Spielberg. And George Lucas couldn't do it by himself either. He did it his
Marvel is clearly learning that too.
Okay. Just RJ, do you think it's an issue? And do you think that they're learning? Do you from what James Gunn's been saying? Do you think it's been an issue in recent years? Do you think that's why some of these studios are having some
a lot
problems?
of what he's referring to is the mistakes and the trappings that Marvel has fallen into.
Yes,
because
but Disney, he didn't name Disney Lucasfilm, but Marvel and Disney have both had this issue. If you could agree to that, he didn't name Lucasfilm.
Well,
but
I think a
expanding
lot
it
of
to
his comments are really just directed towards Marvel because
the whole industry. I think the whole industry, personally.
Well, yes, it is a little bit. Some of it is, yeah, but like the whole that was the whole point of differentiating it because oftentimes a lot of Marvel movies goes back to the very first Iron Man, where the very first Iron Man was filmed without a completed script. A lot of it was monologued on set. A lot of it was like made up on the spot.
John Favreau and Robert Downey Jr.
But in that
good
case,
at
though,
yes.
that movie, was a mess behind the scenes, but it all worked out in the end.
The first Transformers in the making of, they literally had the first one, not the second one that has all the production. What literally has a shot of Steven Spielberg on set saying that's not on the script. That's not on the script. Like literally,
yeah,
this happens everywhere.
Maybe I can.
And the first Transformers is so loved.
All right,
but I was going to say real quick.
Okay.
The issue though is that Marvel got into the habit of we'll fix it in post. We'll fix it in post.
Yeah,
we'll fix
the
it
industry
in
has, not just Marvel.
But I'm using Marvel as the example of what Gunn's talking about, where it's the whole mentality of we'll fix it in the editing bay, we'll fix it in post, we'll do reshoots. We'll keep tinkering with this until we get it right to the very last minute. Well, that's not always going to work, and I feel like lately the issue is that they've been struggling to where it's like they can't fix these movies at the last minute like they used to.
But the thing is, here's the thing about movie talk. You can't be telling them you can't be doing that because you know what? Sometimes it does work.
Yes,
a lot of movie. Because then you wouldn't have because then you wouldn't have Star Wars. Then you wouldn't have Dawn of the Dead.
Please don't call me effer.
No, because because if you say you can't do that, then you don't have these amazing movies that were made afterwards.
I will explain why.
Okay, go ahead, please.
Okay. When these movies originally came out, blockbuster movies were fresh. And even when some of the instances that you gave, the movies industry, now it's not dead. There's still movies that have success each year. But I think the consumers are smarter. We're also in the age of social media. And when it's not great, word travels faster. And there was a cushion.
So it's because of you guys. This is why I blame audience. It's because of you guys. If we had you guys,
consumers
Star
are smarter,
Wars,
that's not a problem.
Yeah, no, Star Wars would have been made it to Empire.
No, I'm saying there's more.
It would have been made before the movie even came out. It's can you believe it sounds like a production woe. Why won't he go back to why won't Lucas do American Graffiti 2? That's what people want to see. Like you guys would have completely
I've been consistent where I say
Oh
that industry. I've been consistent where I say industries have to adapt, move forward, examine the current climate. Okay, so there's more competing for the consumers' attention and entertainment. There's streaming. There's video games are more popular than ever. There's phones. There's all kinds of things. So whereas I believe, my personal subjective opinion is you could get away with shit more often back in the day that you can't now. And these also the budgets are getting more bloated and bigger and bigger and bigger. I don't think you could do it anymore. I don't think a smart executive would be doing this strategy anymore.
There's no wrong way to eat a Reese's. Some movies are made in the editing bay. Some movies are made in this.
Yeah, I think with the risks.
If Gunn wants to run his ship with completed scripts, it's fine.
Now I'm talking about AAA stuff. I will separate it from there. Not indies. I say AAA IP. They should no longer use the previous strategies of starting the film before script's even finished and putting in a release date before things are locked down. You had the cushion of the way industry was successful and consistently. Summer box office was consistent.
No one wants to do that.
Consistent.
No one wants to do that.
I think that if James Gunn is successful, you could mark the date when he said we will not start filming any project until a script is finalized. And if he has extreme success, I want IP films and the studios. I think most of them should follow this template going forward because the environment has changed.
Want to. Every studio wants to. That's not.
I don't think the reality. I don't think they want to.
No. They do. Of course, they want a script. Of course, but it's because of actor scheduling, director scheduling, all this
licensing agreements,
all this different shit comes into play where they have to run it out. The ideal situation.
Well, how can James Gunn do? If James Gunn could do it, the rest of the industry can't.
Because he's the CEO, so he's already running shit like in a different direction.
Well, if he brings movie universes to a new level, which I think he could.
And also, it's not like James Gunn is. He's not like. It seems like he's like. Did you see how he went in there? And now he has all white hair. Like the dude is fucking stressed. Like dealing with all this.
He dyes his hair white.
Oh, he does.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, because it changed to white overnight, or he stopped dyeing it brown.
I don't think he dyes it.
Maybe he stopped dyeing it
No,
brown.
not no more.
Maybe,
not
I
no
don't know.
more.
There was a movie he was on, and then when he was done,
maybe he sees nothing but dead people.
He has fake hair now.
Can I ask you, RJ and Anthony? We agree. We have differences of opinion on how this is successful or not in the past. Moving forward, where the industry is at now, RJ, do you think they should use the template before, as you could on some of these IP films, just starting in before scripts finalize, or do you think the industry, because of the risk, they should adapt the James Gunn template?
Well, I think overall it would be nice if across the board we, filmmakers and studios, like they made these movies in a way where like you don't go into production until you lock down your story.
Then I'm under them. I believe if James Gunn could do it, then the other universes could do it. Is my opinion. Here's where I would put. Here's where I would put it.
They do.
I would say if your budget's over 100 million, you have to have a locked script. That's what I would do for sure. You have to have a final script finalized before filming these IP movies for any of them. Star Wars, DC, Marvel. That's what I would want to see.
I agree. I would love that.
Okay. Well, it could happen. It could if you don't think if James Gunn's takes it to another level that they're not going to say we need to do this with our movie universe.
If they're bleeding money right now, it's because he is he's doing stuff as a CEO to bleed money, and he's saying, "Trust me, it's going to work out that way." Versus other CEOs or other studios that don't have that luxury, that they need to make certain dates. They need to make sure that they have a movie out in the summer. Like he could be completely bleeding the studio dry because he's doing it this way.
Yeah. Well, I want to get Anthony too, and then Anthony, you could use Sony as an example. I believe Sony starts filming crap.
Those.
They don't really have a plan. They just start filming.
Yeah, they don't have a plan with those garbage movies. Start shooting. Adam Webb didn't have a plan. They messed up the director because it was supposed to be, I believe it was supposed to be a Terminator type movie where Adam Webb would go back in time, and save Peter. Something was supposed to be that, and then change it to this dumb, stupid movie that we saw last year. I mean, and then the Venom movies, whatever. They're like mid as hell.
Well,
so like they could make any type of movie.
Are you okay, RJ? Did you leave?
I
was just going to ask him about Nintendo's cinematic universe.
He jumps in and out. I am going to jump out. I'm sure he's going to jump back in. He jumps in.
Okay. Well, I was going to shift Nintendo. I was going to thank you, Perp. And if you want to talk if you want to go on the mic drop tomorrow night, me and Voltaire, if you're available.
Oh, mic drop! I would love that. Voltaire.
Yeah, message Voltaire what you want. Message Voltaire what you want to talk about, so he does research. He'll start researching the Blake Lively thing.
Yeah.
But I was gonna talk about the Nintendo Cinematic Universe maybe real quick before you go.
Yeah, I saw RJ insisted. I was avoiding it for a while, but RJ insisted that I watch the Donkey Kong trailer, and it was amazing. I was like, "Damn, I'm not a Donkey Kong fan, but that looks really good."
No, I have it pre-ordered.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna ask Homer to check it out and pre-order it probably too.
Okay, let me bring that up.
Kong fan.
Paulina reveal.
Paulina
for Donkey Kong.
Pauline.
It looks really cool. It looks better than Odyssey, honestly.
I can't find my Odyssey.
Well, it's the same people.
We get in a trailer. We get in a trailer.
It's the same people. I like the destruction aspect of it.
Seems
That's
to be,
really cool.
It seems to be the same team that made Odyssey.
Yeah, we're getting a trailer for Odyssey.
Good team. Keep that team together, Nintendo.
By the way, I heard that the new Jurassic movie is garbage.
No, Isaac, exactly. Nintendo Cinematic Universe.
You couldn't tell from the trailer, Anthony.
No, people reviewing this says.
I believe
it's made. They're saying it's made.
At least as long as the raft scene and as long as the water scenes are good, I'm gonna be there.
Yeah, they just saying the movie's mid, and the only standout is
the raft scene.
Okay, that's good enough for me. That's what I kind of was expecting. Kind of.
I forgot her names. Scarlett Johansson and Mahershala Ali and the other guy from the Wicked movie.
I really believe that this reveal. Let me put the speed back up. It's too long.
It is too long.
Okay, I believe.
No,
I didn't press play. I believe that this Pauline reveal really shows the future of the Nintendo Cinematic Universe, which is a thing.
Well, we get in the movie.
They are now at theme parks at Universal. And they changed Donkey Kong. We all knew they were changing Donkey Kong for a reason, for his game, but the addition of now Pauline, we didn't know what that rock was.
True.
That rock is a new character.
It's the rock.
I feel like you're really gonna. I don't see how they don't do a Donkey Kong and Pauline movie now, RJ. Don't you think so? They were already
dude. It's even better. Pauline's probably gonna show up with Donkey Kong in Nintendo Land. That's gonna be cool. Like they're gonna hire like an actor and shit.
Yes,
pretty cool.
People were referencing that.
Pauline's been a character in the games for a while now.
Yeah, but not to this. Like this is a different level.
Fourth, it's Pauline. She came from a rock, bro. Open your eyes.
Well, we don't. There's a lot of questions about this though, because why is Pauline a 13-year-old girl when like Cranky Kong's around and Cranky Kong's the original Donkey Kong that like kidnapped her that Mario like stopped?
Well,
so
you have you have Nintendo fans saying this broke lore. Yes, it's a
broke lore.
Yes, yes.
This is the trailer you picked. You could have showed a much better gameplay snippet. This is what you picked.
I just.
Donovan, that game looks amazing. You can't hate on that game. So I was avoiding it for
I
days.
do not see how you don't have Pauline and Donkey Kong in an Illumination.
She's wearing Jankos. That's so cool.
I think that we already Mario Brothers was an amazing.
Yeah, this is a much better clip. That actually shows game.
Donovan, you're so full of shit. No, this looks great. I wasn't even a fan of this, and I'm like, wow, that looks really good.
Nintendo is Japanese propaganda.
Who said that?
Donovan Martin.
Well, that's not the craziest thing he said.
What are they propagandas?
I mean, he's a crackhead, so it makes sense.
No!
No, he's not a crackhead.
No, Anthony, you can actually cause me problems because someone on the panel called someone in the chat that. Do not do that, please. I'm not calling anyone names.
Good. Someone in the panel called someone else a crackhead, and they got upset.
Yeah.
When did this happen?
They could contact my channel. They could report my channel.
Donovan, are you upset you got called a crackhead?
No, I don't want. My point is, I don't like people from the panel or the chat calling people names. I try
to. Can we call each other names over here?
Pull up the better clips.
You've already talking about this. You already have called me some names here.
I haven't called you any names. I said
you called him an effer.
You called me an effer.
I called everyone motherfuckers.
Well, I don't like.
I said you motherfuckers plural, as in.
By the way, the little gear backs you can control like the speed as well, so that you know.
Playback speed. I'll do 0.75.
And you can mute it. By the way.
All right, hurry up! It's 11:30. I gotta go. All right.
What do you turn into a pumpkin? What the hell?
That was pretty good, actually. Turned into a pumpkin. That was good.
We're talking about the Nintendo Cinematic Universe.
You're lucky I saw the Ugly Stepsister recently, so I like that.
Can you look at this? Can you imagine an Illumination movie with Pauline and Donkey Kong now? This is great.
I definitely don't like the Rule 34 shit going on that's going to happen with this.
Why would you mention that?
Why would you bring that up?
Because
holy crap, you're on
it's the internet. Like, it's been how long since its debut? I'm slow.
Look at the private chat.
Yeah. And fourth, this looks great.
Don't be bringing that here. That's that type of joke.
Dude, that was like 2 minutes a minute that the fucking trailer debut. Everyone knows that, okay? I brought it up hours after.
I never even thought of that. That's gross. Okay.
I don't think anybody thought of that.
No. Okay, so
I didn't think of it. I just thought of the Rule 34.
I want to say.
All right, let's look at it.
RJ,
play the video.
That's what makes it gross for.
I think this reveals the future of the Nintendo Cinematic Universe. I think Donkey Kong is definitely a go for a movie. It's way more cinematic now with Pauline and Donkey Kong. The relationship is great, and it's going to be a big movie. And you already have that established game that is probably going to be one of the best games on the Switch too. This movie's going to be amazing. And then they're about to start casting the live action Zelda movie.
Yeah.
This is great. This is not, I'm saying right now that this is the competition for your beloved Disney, perp. Nintendo.
Epstein files.
No, Disney. This is the next Disney. Because Nintendo was making.
I could see that. I could see that. RJ was specific as like, oh, this Donkey Kong is way more cinematic. I mean, it seems like they're really trying to break these characters out.
Right. I feel bad for Diddy.
I could see that.
I feel bad for Diddy. I mean, Diddy's kind of problematic because of the Puff Diddy, but
no, if you want, watch
Diddy Kong.
Can you play
P Diddy Kong?
Yeah,
Diddy Kong is in the game.
P Diddy Kong.
This is a great time to be alive. We have a new great system, Switch 2, and Nintendo is going on all cylinders. They're at theme parks, video games, movies, TV shows are next. I mean, they've had TV shows in the past, but not quality TV shows.
Play the there you
go. This is very revealing to me about the future.
Are they going to the P Diddy Kong party?
I really feel I like Diddy Kong a lot.
Look how cool this is.
That's my one.
Fourth, look how cool that looks. Fourth can't hate on that.
I gotta be real. I really like Pauline and the relationship here. It's a lot of fun, but I would prefer.
Donovan, shut up.
It reminds me of Boo and Sully from Monsters Inc. a little bit. It's got like that kind of vibe.
Okay, well you could go now.
I wonder if they could do the
wait
karaoke.
Slow down and look.
That looks like so much fun.
Look, go back. Look.
There's the mine cart. I was asking for that for Homura.
Go back. You missed it.
Is this from the Dreamcast? No.
Not that far. Just let it play.
This is being bad faith. Can we have a rule that we ban bad faith? We ban them.
No.
We ban bad faithers.
No.
A lot of bad faith in the chat. I see you, bad faithers.
Well, I do have a topic that I don't know if you want to.
Right there. Look.
That's great, man.
You missed it again.
Listen. The reason why Nintendo is superior to me. So no, I'm calling out
bad faithers.
No. I'm calling out. This is why I have issues with special effects in movies. I could talk about this. The quality. let me cook. Let me cook, perp. No, let me cook, perp. I respect. So a lot of current gen and next gen is make it the best it can. Okay, but a lot of the times they just do photorealistic skins on a 3D model, Unreal Tournament. Everything looks samey and realistic. What I feel is like the difference you get Nintendo, and especially Nintendo Next Gen for the Switch 2, is they are doing these character models built from the ground up. It doesn't seem like they're just using Unreal Engine. And the frames of animation between animation looks almost Pixar quality.
But also,
there's frames of animation. Like some of the stuff in the Flash I didn't like in Superman. It looked rubbery because it looked like it was even missing frames of animation, and it looks like it was just painted on a 3D model.
It's more important.
Yes.
Do you know what's more important than pretty graphics?
What?
Is it fun to play?
Gameplay?
Is it fun to play?
Good story for a video game. Say good story so I can laugh.
I mean, that's why I like guys, for example, on PlayStation.
When it comes to Donkey Kong, I just want a good story.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's the same thing, right?
Yeah, he left with that. Well,
that's the same thing, though, right? It's like I would much rather care about a good story or good gameplay over it looking the best or being the prettiest.
So people might ask why I think the graphics here are better than PlayStation 5 or Series X.
Because it's got an art style. It's got personality.
Because personality, art style. It's not just an Unreal Tournament copy and paste thing with a hyper realistic skin over a 3D model with limited frames of animation. They all look the same. They all have similar lighting. This is curated, great art style, gameplay, innovative gameplay, fun gameplay, replayability, and the frames of animation are great. It feels like literal Pixar. I mean, Pixar's still better quality than this, but it's not far off. And
it looks good.
For example, close to looking like the quality of animated movies for sure.
Now, for example, the things that I like the most on PlayStation, Naughty Dog does the best with. Yes, they have realistic looking characters, but they still have a certain style to them, and then they also have amazing animation. For
Well,
their
look at
abilities.
look at what won Game of the Year last year, Astrobot.
Yeah, Astrobot has great animation.
That game has been pushing graphics.
That was like a Nintendo game.
And just being fun.
Yeah. But this is refreshing to me where a lot of current gen and next gen, and I like current gen, next gen, just look same. You know what I'm talking about, RJ? Yes, technical abilities of the PlayStation 5 and Series X are better than this, right? But a lot of the main AAA games are just copy and paste Unreal Tournament games, like the engine. You know, not that they all follow like first-person shooters. You know what I mean? They look a lot of the same.
Yeah, by the way, you have to go back because I was trying to point something out to you.
Oh my god.
I was.
What?
Just let it play. I'll tell you when to pause. Right here. Look.
Oh,
look what that is.
Dixie.
Yeah.
Diddy? Oh, Dixie Dig. Oh, thank God.
They're there.
Oh, so that makes it better. That Diddy
together.
Kong moved on because he's got a girlfriend, Dixie. Okay. That's great. Okay, I feel better about what happened to Diddy.
Diddy's not going away.
Not Diddy can.
Yeah, we love Diddy.
Yeah. What did it? I mean, I love Diddy Kong.
Yeah, we love Diddy here.
No, I wouldn't say that. When you play, I play adult games too. No, but this is
for adults. This is for everybody.
What's your opinion, Anthony? What do you think of the possibilities of the Nintendo Cinematic Universe? Are you excited for that? I'm excited for all these movie universes. Honestly, I want them to get better. I think they need constructive criticism. Thank you, James Gunn, a real one that listens and addresses criticisms, and he handled it like a pro. Anthony, what do you think of this Nintendo Switch 2 Donkey Kong Bonanza gameplay?
It looks good.
Do you want to see a movie off this now?
I mean, yeah, if it happens, sure, why not? I mean, for the next Mario movie that's coming out next year, I believe.
Okay, so what? Before we move on, what are you more excited about? This like potential of a Donkey Kong movie? I'll ask RJ. Actually, let me get a better image here, though. What are you more excited about? The potential for a Mario Brothers 2 movie? Now that you've seen Donkey Kong Bonanza reveal, maybe Donkey Kong and Pauline movie with the other Kongs, Diddy Kong, Dixie Kong, or the Legend of Zelda movie. I will rank them because I do know for sure 2 are happening. Two that we know are happening unless something really falls through is Zelda and Mario 2. They're definitely making Mario 2.
Well, yeah, they already have release dates. Already working on it.
Yeah, but I do feel like Donkey Kong. I think this game proves that they're going to treat him as a. I mean, maybe it depends on the sales of the game. Maybe they're waiting to see if they want to develop.
It was rumored forever ago that they were working on both the Donkey Kong spinoff movie and Luigi's Mansion.
So let's do this. The Nintendo Cinematic Universe. What's your top 3, and then what's your most wanted Nintendo IP that you want in the Nintendo Cinematic Universe? I'll go first. Okay, after seeing this game, Donkey Kong would have probably been at the bottom of the list for me just from what he was in the Mario movie. But now seeing his change of animation style, Pauline in Donkey Kong Bonanza reveal, and that they still have the other Kongs in there, you proved to me that Diddy and Dixie are still there. I will put it at number 2. I still got to say live action I do want Legend of Zelda live action. I don't know why, just because I keep thinking of Lord of the Rings and fantasy stuff I love in live action. Like, I love animation too, but I'll put Legend of Zelda live action first, which I hope they use the actor that's in Hiccup, that's in How to Train Your Dragon. It seems like that's the rumor. He's the main actor they're trying to get right now.
Mason
Thames. And then I will put Donkey Kong with Pauline, and the rest of the Kong crew. I would love to see that. The third would be Mario 2. I do want to see a sequel. And then my wildest dreams Nintendo IP that I would see. I want a new F-Zero game, but I don't think a movie would be cool about that. I do think Star Fox would be effing cool. Star Fox, I want a new game. I want a movie, and I don't think I'd want live action because they'd look kind of like just furries, which I'm not against furries or anything, but I think it would be better as an animated film. So that's my biggest one is I want a Star Fox movie in the Nintendo Cinematic Universe. RJ, you go next, and I hope Anthony knows enough Nintendo that he could comment on that too. What would be your top 3 most wanted Nintendo Cinematic Universe movies, and then one that's not even being, as far as we know, is not being worked on that you would really like to see them explore?
I would say that the upcoming Zelda movie is definitely the most exciting of the two. I am looking forward, though, to the Mario movie sequel. I'd probably put that at number 2.
You put that ahead of Donkey Kong? This doesn't change it for you, seeing this trailer? This trailer changed it for me. Because I put Donkey Kong above Mario 2.
I'm very much looking forward to this game. I still feel like Mario 2 has a little bit more potential to build off of the first movie with more characters you could bring in and more you could do. This does, though, show me that you could do a Donkey Kong movie successfully. You could do a really interesting story. So I'd probably put that at number 3. And then the one I would like to see, I want to see a live-action Metroid movie.
Oh!
With
I forgot about Metroid.
With Brie Larson. With Brie Larson as Samus.
They've always been talking about that for the last 5 years. I don't know.
You actually changed my mind, RJ. I wasn't thinking about Metroid with Brie Larson too. I would put that. I can't decide over Star Fox or Metroid. But yeah, Metroid, I would want live action. Metroid. Those are the two I'd want live action. Is Metroid.
I do think Star Fox works better as an animated movie, though.
Yeah, probably Star Fox. You could put that in.
All right. So Anthony, what's the top 3 you'd want to see? So far we know they're working on Legend of Zelda and Mario 2. I'm basing on this. They've been heavily rumored Donkey Kong. So out of those 3, what would your number them 1, 2, 3, and then what Nintendo IP would you love to see in the cinematic universe? I want to get into. I haven't really got into Splatoon yet. I got to get into it. I just got Splatoon 2 for $15, so I could start playing that.
What about price? It's hard. I don't know because they have so many good characters they could use. I guess.
Well, do the 3 of the ones we think that are happening: Zelda, Donkey Kong movie, and then Mario 2. What would be your most anticipated?
I guess I would go with Donkey Kong. He's a great character. No. What else? Metro Prime will be the second one, whether it's live action or animated. I'll be fine. And you know what? Why not Princess Peach movie?
Princess Peach movie?
Yeah, why not? I mean,
that's a good idea.
Why not? She I forgot she did have her own game before.
I didn't. Did anyone buy that last game on the Switch 1? It didn't look good to me. I want her to have a really good game.
Oh, Princess Peach Showtime. I heard it was.
It feels like mini games that not in a good way. I would rather like I would really like something on the level of Donkey Kong Bonanza or Mario Kart or Mario Odyssey for Peach. Instead of just like skating and dressing up and But Anthony Cheeseman, you and some other people. No, change that image. But you and some other people are really revealing that you don't know Nintendo because Contra is not Nintendo. It was on a Nintendo console, but it's not Nintendo. It's Konami. And then Mega Man is Capcom. See? And Astro Boy is I don't know who Astro Boy is. That Sega? It was I don't know. Astro Boy is not Nintendo. Although, what if they did something? Do they have any Nintendo character that breaks the fourth wall besides Conker? But they're not going to use Conker.
You could argue Wario with the WarioWare games. There's kind of like a little bit of some fourth.
Okay, because it would be kind of cool if they did something similar to Wreck-It Ralph, and they had a Nintendo Universe movie that had guest characters from other like Capcom, Namco, Konami. That would be kind of fun too. Across a multiverse movie, and then Nintendo NCU. Yeah. Okay. Well, we could do some mailbag. I did have one more topip that really triggered.
Do we even talk about James Gunn? Like, what were you trying to talk about?
I said at the beginning,
Oh.
Hold on. Let me make a banner for this. This really upset people, and I'm dead serious.
It's probably gonna be something really stupid. I'm just waiting.
The Switch 2 is better than a Steam Deck. And audience in the comment section or on the panel, you could try.
Oh,
to
I
change
saw
my
that
mind.
video. Yeah.
You could try to change my mind, but after really,
there's nothing to change your mind on. It is better.
First
No,
off,
I'm being serious. Like stat wise, performance wise, it is better.
Yes, performance better. Yeah.
So lots of my cousin DM'd me on a text message. Bruce was like, "What the heck are you talking about?" There were some other people. First off, I watch a lot of content on video games, even though the majority of the channel is focused on movies and TV. I know a lot about video games. I watch Digital Foundry. They did videos on the specs of the Switch 2. It's not like far superior than the Steam Deck or ROG Ally, current gen's ROG Ally or Steam Deck, okay? Yeah. But it's not that far off either. And then everyone comparing what, like you see the people on X, RJ, that say, why should I buy a Steam Deck, or why should I buy a Switch 2 when my Steam Deck could do this? First off, most of you are pirating. I'm not judging you, but most of the people that are saying that are all
most of the people who say that it's because they're pirating the game.
Yeah, are pirating Nintendo games on their Steam Deck. Yes. And I'm not judging you. I'm just saying, for people that actually want to buy their games, the Switch 2 is a better
actually want to support developers.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So the other thing that Steam Deck and ROG Ally fans are forgetting is that you buy a Switch 2, okay, and you get a dock. You buy a ROG Ally or a Steam Deck, you have to buy that separately.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that I really hate this about these, I like handheld systems. I like docking. Listen, docking handheld systems that could play on your TV, it's obviously a thing. It should stick around, right? We all agree with that. Right? RJ, Anthony? That's options for the consumer are great. Take your games on the go, dock it to your TV or monitor. That's great. All right. The issues with Steam Deck and ROG Ally is I don't want to spend that much money, which if you take off the dock, you're talking about a handheld that's $350 because the dock is being sold for $120.
Well, it depends too, because I saw Xbox is doing that partnership with ROG Ally to do their own handheld. That's upwards like $800.
And you cannot play games natively on the hardware.
No, it's only on the cloud. It's just cloud.
You cannot play games natively. You do not have an optical drive or any other type of drive that reads a card or anything like that. Just an SD card. Right?
Yeah.
So I'm immediately saying to all you people that say the Steam Deck and the ROG Ally is a better value, I'm like, well, what about the dock, bro? Because the dock is,
like the games. Look at Cyberpunk 2077. The Switch 2 version runs substantially better than the Steam Deck version.
Yeah.
Like the more demanding games are probably going to run on par with the Steam Deck or way better than the Steam Deck.
Okay. So it has a drive that reads physical media. I'd say subtract the price of the dock and it's a $350 handheld. I actually told people this. You don't need to wait for a Switch 2 Lite. Now this won't happen. People are eventually going to catch up on having extra docks. You could buy a Switch 2 now. You could sell the dock and you could have a great time just having a handheld system that's amazing.
Or don't sell the dock and keep it in case you ever need it. But like,
no. But I'm saying,
I'm gonna say, like, I know some people like they buy their Switch 2s and like they only use them portably. They never use the
tabletop.
Yeah, they just
tabletop is better than ever. I had Switch 1 since the launch, and I didn't like the handheld that much. Switch 2 is a lot more enjoyable as a handheld system and as a tabletop system. Okay,
but
so it has,
but
and then
Cyberpunk is still a very demanding game. Like that is one of the most technically demanding games
so
out there.
I would even concede that maybe the Steam Deck and ROG Ally, certain current gens, are more powerful than they might not be more powerful than the Switch 2. But my other big issue as to why I have such a problem leaning into the Steam Deck and even Xbox ROG Ally ecosystem. There is no excuse to have these very expensive machines locked to the controllers. And I'm talking about the PlayStation Portal 2.
Are they going to bring
that? Why, when the Switch is such a success, and I have problems with the Switch 2 Joy-Cons too. But you know what happens? You can remove them. You can get third-party controllers that are better. I do not want to buy a $400 plus handheld machine that has the D-pad and the buttons locked to the system. Once they go bad, I'm going to have to pay someone to repair it instead of buying a replacement left or right controller. There's pro controllers for systems that have removable sticks and parts, but these systems are so expensive, way more expensive than the Switch 2 if you factor in all you're getting in that box. Okay, these are facts. You're getting a dock, you're getting all this stuff, you're getting all kind of cords, you're getting a thing for your Joy-Cons. I have a real issue, and let me know what you think about that, RJ and Anthony. I would prefer if the other systems would adopt removable things, so the main meat and potatoes of the system, the screen, the tech behind it that runs the games, if something happens to those controllers, I want to be easily replaced. And that's where I also want next gen to go, is like, I think that's something that's a benefit. I am actually mad still at Nintendo that they don't take advantage of it more. Like, why don't they sell just a left Joy-Con with a better D-pad? Why am I stuck with that stupid buttons? Because I know I know they want to push that, but why don't they give you more options? Why do I have to go to third parties for that? Why don't I have an official Nintendo, not Hori, official Nintendo left Joy-Con with a legit D-pad that I could buy in addition? Because I would buy it. Huh?
Because you don't really need it.
Yes, I do need it. I think it could be better.
The D-pad on the Switch too. This is fine.
No, it's not. No, it has gaps in it. It's not that comfortable.
It's comfortable to me.
I will buy a third-party solution once they catch up to the Switch 2. I already have it for the Switch 1 as a D-pad.
Are they gonna bring the other Cyberpunk game that they have?
But what do you think about that, RJ and Anthony? Don't you think ROG, Ally, Steam Deck, and Microsoft and other companies making these handheld systems that also dock? Mm-hmm. Don't you think it's a big mistake, or at least a problem for the consumer, that they don't give you options to replace the? If I game that much on a handheld, I'm going to need the controller replacement before the system goes. And I don't like it being locked to the system. That's my main. Well, first off, I don't have money for both Switch 2 and ROG Ally, but I was tempted with the Microsoft one. I really was. And honestly, I still am tempted, but that is the biggest thing preventing me from getting a Microsoft ROG Ally. $1,000? Well, I don't know the price yet.
RJ, it's $1,000?
Yeah.
The rumors that's going to be upwards from like 800 to 1,000.
Oh no, there's no way. There's no way. And the reason I'm definitely not buying it now. Maybe
I don't think most people are going to buy it. The price.
My main reason is you can't change the sides of the controllers if something goes on that.
Yeah, you can't.
I have a $200 controller where something was wrong with it, and I replaced part of it. Because it had interchangeable parts because it was a really high end controller. Mm-hmm. Listen, what people need to realize is sometimes gaming can be so much better if you have an amazing controller.
True.
And I don't want to be stuck to the whole life cycle of a console to that same controller. And that's the biggest mistake with Steam Decks and ROG Ally, is that you're stuck to that controller the whole life of that console.
Yep.
And even though Nintendo has some serious issues still with stick drift and Joy-Cons, they're still too expensive and they could be a lot better. But at least you could change them out for a third-party solution, or if they go bad and you get stick drift and you get a bad Joy-Con, you can replace it. Easy. So no, I am not trolling viewers with this. I got a lot of haters from this, but it is a much better value than a Steam Deck or ROG Ally. Yep. And I was really rooting for Microsoft And the current president is why I am not going to get a Microsoft official branded handheld. I really believe that's why they canceled plans for that.
And also, like, why?
There's no reason to bring with the cost of things development around the world. There's no longer reason to develop in-house a new product for your ecosystem. I think that's what really put the nail in the coffin in the Microsoft handheld, the official one, not a IP collaboration.
Yeah, I'll be curious too to see what PlayStation does. They do decide to make their own dedicated handheld. And it's
well, I mean, it's rumors coming in 2029.
No, I really like the PlayStation Portal. The reason I got it used for 150. I got it for my wife. She doesn't even use it, but it's amazing. I still don't like that the controllers are locked to the screen. But it's
you have the iCloud version. I mean, you could play the damn, what's it called?
I'm not trolling. I actually think it's a better value. I think it's more bang for your buck.
Oh, it is. It is 100%. Yeah, it is.
Mm-hmm. And listen, if you just want a handheld machine, I would say get a Switch 2. My niece, who's taking a trip now, they can't. My mother was going to buy her Switch 2, and she's like, I think you got to sell it to a friend. I can't spend that much. I'm like, you know what, Mom? I'll get down the price. And then the first thing I did, and I'm still working on, is I'm going to sell the dock. But I said, you know what? I'll buy the dock off of you, because I was thinking about buying $120 dock off of Nintendo officially for my second room and for videos and content.
Yeah.
So I will give you that. I will defer that cost, and then let me see how much I can get else off the cost of it. And she's like, okay, then we're talking. Like if I get down to 300, and then I'm gonna buy my niece a carrying case and a screen protector. So it's only gonna cost her $300 for a handheld, and that's majority of my niece's gameplay is on handheld. So it doesn't matter. Like it's an amazing handheld. You could flip this dock.
Mm-hmm.
And you could do things to get down like $300.
That's good.
That's a great, if you really think about it. You don't have to wait for a Switch 2 Lite, RJ. If you need to, honestly, like say you can't, for example, if you were in a situation where money is a little bit tighter, RJ, okay, and you really love handheld systems, and you couldn't afford the Switch 2 and games, I would flip it on eBay, Facebook Marketplace, sell someone an extra dock for 100. You're not going to get 120, and then I would go put it on a game, and then you got a handheld in a game, and you don't need the AC because it charges off a USB-C adapter. I charge it with my iPhone adapter. It's 120, but it's got an Ethernet and an HDMI. The dock's legit. Legit docks are expensive.
I mean, yeah, the dock is very nice.
Yeah, I'm talking about for Steam Deck and ROG Ally too. If you get a legit dock, they're probably expensive too.
Oh yeah, they are. Especially if they're a really nice one. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I just see like the cost of entries is going to dissuade people from getting in there.
Well, Isaac, as time goes on,
it's pushing the cost like pretty much to its limit. It's like,
yeah. But I'm saying there's wiggle room in there if you really want it and you want it as a handheld, and you know there's options with it that's all included in that box. You could flip the dock now for I would say at least $90, which is another game on eBay or Facebook Marketplace, or go to GameStop or somewhere resale shop, see how much they'll sell it to you for. You could flip that easy right now until there's a lot of docks out there, at the beginning. You know what I'm saying, RJ? The first holiday season, you could probably get away with that. As time goes by, you're going to get less and less as more of those docks are out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, how much is a Switch 2 dock?
120.
Really?
On Nintendo dock? I actually looked at buying one. So I could have.
I mean, $100 I can somewhat see, but that's a little expensive. That is kind of expensive.
They were expensive for Switch 1, just the docks.
Well, weren't the Switch 1 docks like 80 or 90?
90, yeah. And I bought like 3 of them.
Why'd you buy 3 of them?
So we have one at the cottage, I have one in the bedroom and at the living room, so I don't have to keep changing it.
Okay. So you have like different docks.
And then I might put it down here with an Ethernet cable for Nintendo parties or for reviews. I want to start doing reviews of movies and video games. Yeah.
I see. Okay.
Doc Talk, Nintendo apologist. Yeah, but that's my main issue, Bruce. And I know, look, if you're looking for an emulation machine and you're a pirate, I'm not judging you, but that's the piracy. If you're in the piracy and emulation, and I'm not saying you are, but that is the best. Yes, then for sure, Steam Deck or ROG Ally. But if you want to actually buy your games, support the industry, have a great experience, and more bang for your buck, then I say Switch 2 is better. Yeah, I mean, you could ask RJ to look it up. It's out. Nintendo.com is the only place I know you could buy it right now.
Yeah, I think right now you can only get a new. Like, if you want to get a dock, the only way you can get
That's why you could flip it right now. You could easily sell it for $90, $100.
Well, if you want to be a scalper, sure.
No, that's not scalping if you're just selling it at cost of what it retails. You're scalper if you. I mean, I guess it's subjective, but you would be taking advantage of a situation, scooping it all up and charging more than retail is what I think, you know? Okay, so let's do a few mailbag. Anything else you guys want to cover?
There was the Superman World Tour.
Yeah, if you have some stuff you want to put in the private chat, I'm going to do some mailbag. Anthony, anything else you wanted to cover tonight?
As well as that much.
His sandwich.
No, Isaac, I'm not saying you are pirating if you have a Steam Deck. I'm saying if you're looking for an emulation handheld that also docks, then I would definitely recommend a Steam Deck or ROG Ally over a Switch 2, for sure. Yeah, I because honestly, if you try to emulate on a Switch 2, Nintendo might brick your console. You know, I would never. But that's the other thing. People are complaining about the warnings. Nintendo is more aggressive than Sony and Xbox for sure. But if you try to modify any current gen, you have the risk of being bricked. Really, right? Any of the companies. If you try to do it to something that's consistently connected to the internet, you run a risk, right?
No, for sure, absolutely. I mean, like, you know, Nintendo does not play around with the piracy. They just don't.
Well, I mean, yeah. To be fair, just like you wouldn't test Disney, you know, I wouldn't test Disney or Nintendo. I wouldn't test any. I would never. I love modded consoles, but I'd never try to mod current gen. If I was into the mod, if I was more, and I have a bunch of modded consoles, like old gen consoles, and I like emulation is the reason why video games. I think emulation has contributed to video games a lot. I think it's very good.
You could try Limited Day, but Nintendo is just.
But I sort of have the rule. I don't try to emulate current gen. That's my personal rule. You know, no offense to anyone else. I'm not judging anyone. It's just my personal rule. I don't try to emulate current gen.
Yeah.
All right, so let's do.
I do got to step out though because I have a doctor's appointment in the morning, so I got to get to bed. Okay. I'm going super early in the morning.
Did you want me to check one of your things first before you leave, or?
No, it's fine. I don't have to. You can check it out later.
Okay. All right. See you, RJ.
But yeah, thank you for having me on. Much appreciated. Everybody stay safe out there.
Are you going to be ready? We might be doing Nintendo tomorrow or Saturday. I talked to Rational.
Yeah, that's fine. Just let me know. Just text me.
Okay.
All right. Y'all have a good one.
All right. You too. Anthony, I hope you could get Switch so we could play Nintendo. Are you looking for one? Or are you waiting?
Oh, right.
Well, me and you could play Sony.
We'll see. I mean, I'll just wait. I'd rather wait.
You don't want to play it with me on Sony. All right. Thanks a lot. Okay, so mailbag. Thoughts on James Gunn and why he finally agreed to take on the character Superman. Thank you, Jacob. I want to tell the story about someone who is truly good in the world that doesn't value goodness in a world that makes fun of basic kindness and basic human values. The fact that he can fly and lift buildings and shoot laser beams out of his eyes was really secondary to who he was as a person or what he stood for. I like that sentiment. Basic kindness and basic human values, I actually think are, as the generations, and not to crap on younger generations, probably the age of social media is why basic kindness and human values are kind of disappearing from this world, and less people put a focus on that. But not here. We have that human kindness and values and morality, and we like to like and share and subscribe to all of our friends here in Movie Talk. So if you haven't yet, please like the video and show some human kindness. No, but I like that. I like that. I do like to see some cool stuff too, though. Anthony, what do you think of those comments about basic kindness and human values is what connected James Gunn to Superman finally? Okay, thanks. Anthony, are you there?
So you said, wait, what?
What's your thoughts on James Gunn saying the way he connected to Superman that really got him was the focus on basic kindness and basic human values?
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I mean, it's a simple. I mean, it's a simple character to take on if you know what to do with it. So for sure.
I look. There's a lot of activism, Ghost Bumbles, but I also think there's a lack of empathy and kindness too because of social media. Not to blame any group of people. I think that's a pretty fair statement. What do you think, Anthony? I mean, I guess it's my opinion, but do you think that's contributing to the lack of kindness and human values and empathy towards one another? Is the fast social media and going back and forth? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Our thoughts on Dan Fleischer Camp made sure Chris Sanders was returning to voice Stitch before agreeing to direct live action Lilo and Stitch. I made sure to get the assurance before I even see yes to the project. I was like, Chris Sanders, and they said, yeah, he's eager to come back. I didn't know that was the same Stitch.
So that's cool. Yeah, it's the same guy that's been doing Stitch. I think he works at Dream Animation now. But you know.
Thought on Anthony Kerrigan's on Metamorpho situation, Superman. You're in a situation where it's having to hurt someone, having to be an agent of the bad guy. And at the same time, there's the struggle to want to do good. What the film does brilliantly is it puts you in the situation of, oh, he has no choice. He has to be doing this. And you see how painful it is. That's interesting that he's giving that backstory to Metamorpho. I don't know a lot about Metamorpho. I've seen him in the animated series and the Justice League, but I've never really connected to that character. But I really like the design of him in Superman. And I like that actor enough that I'm really hoping I'm going to connect to him in this movie. And I like what he's saying there. I have to do this. I have no choice. That's pretty interesting. Anthony, after I'm done, you could chime in if you want to say anything about Metamorpho. Is it one of the characters that you're looking forward to in Superman? Are you a fan of his character in past forms, the animated show or comics? Or I mean, I don't know a lot about him. That's also what's intriguing about him to me. The only thing I don't like about Metamorpho is that I think Baby Joey is his baby, and I don't like that. I don't like that baby in the promo stuff. All right. Anthony's quiet again. All right, let me see what.
Damn! I thought. Oh, damn!
What are you doing, Anthony? I
thought muted. Yeah. Like I said, yeah, that's his son. The son, I don't mind it if he really.
That's the thing I'm not looking forward to in his character.
If he doesn't talk, or whatever, I don't mind it. It's like, okay, whatever. He just there for the story, then that's it. Like that's it. Other than that, yeah, like I think he's a cool character in the comics. Hopefully, they did him justice in live action. He does have a team in the comics, so I don't know. I don't know if they will do him in the DCU. They probably will, but we'll see.
All right. Thoughts on James Gunn when asked if Ultraman is Luthor's attempt to create his own Man of Steel? I think that's close. Ultraman is sort of Lex's thug and is pretty powerful.
Maybe he created him. Maybe he not. Maybe he found him. That would be interesting.
Yeah, I'm more looking forward to Metamorpho and Lex in the Engineer than Ultraman.
Yeah, I would probably say that Lex created Ultraman.
What is this? MME should be renamed Bad Take Max because Max always has a bad take. I have the most legit takes. I have the best takes in the world. The best takes on the internet, the best takes on YouTube. You just haven't caught up with me yet. CGH. I stand by my takes for sure. Have you watched the trailer for The Lost Bus, Matthew McConaughey movie? It looks good. No, because I don't watch movies. I didn't watch that trailer. No, I'll check it out. I want to do some more trailer reactions. Thoughts on movie theaters re-releasing films and making popcorn buckets. Jaws is coming out soon again. Listen, if it brings people back to the theater and movie companies make more money, some of these popcorn buckets could be supplementing the budgets for these movies, these AAA movies, potentially. You know,
I don't know about that.
I don't. No, I mean they certainly licensing and products help. You know,
yeah, but like
these popcorn buckets are made for like under $1, and they charge $40 for them.
Yeah, but that's mostly the theater that makes them and put the price on it. So because they are limited edition, you're never gonna get them in the market.
So there's some I like, but I think the thing that's really bringing people to the theater is, I think, along with your IP, I think like Ryan Coogler, Christopher Nolan, and even James Gunn, personal branding is also really helping with younger generations, bringing them back. Margot Robbie also really was on the press tour. Besides the great Barbie marketing, she was all over the place, and she was great. She did great on the press tour. So personal branding along with IP branding, popcorn buckets and merch. And then IMAX is the thing that I think is most exciting for me to get me to the theaters. Like I have great TVs in my house. I have physical media and home movies, but an IMAX experience really differentiates itself from home theater. So I would love something new introduced that would get people, that's even more exciting than what you could get at the home in the home to really get people back. But I would like to see IMAX expand and more screens and more of a focus for that, and more movies shot entirely on IMAX. You know, you have like segments of the movies for IMAX.
You gotta find the right director to do IMAX.
Yeah.
But
I mean, just having IMAX is not going to make a movie great.
Yeah. No,
but
like
with the IMAX focus and scenes that are, that's also, the more and more you see IMAX, people are going to have to do better special effects, because it's very, when you have bad special effects that's on IMAX, it's very apparent.
And also, like, yeah, true.
Thank you, Isaac.
Wow. But now also the popcorn buckets, they're good. The Jurassic Park popcorn bucket, that is awful. Like, oh my God, that is so trash. Like, don't know who approved that when they could have just had a dinosaur bucket that would have the dinosaur mouth open. Don't know why they didn't do that, but they just have this weird. The buckets for that one is trash. Yeah, but like the bucket for Fantastic Four and Superman, they're very cool.
Yeah.
So like, yeah.
So CGH says, why does Lex Luthor sound AI and super in the international trailer?
I don't know.
I haven't. That's the one thing in the trailers I haven't seen great Lex yet. He looks pretty cool in certain scenes, but his voiceover, what the hell is she doing?
You mean his voiceover over David? Yeah.
It sounded weird. Look at.
Hey.
She is on.
She has a broken tooth.
Are you high? Are you high, Kelly?
She has a broken tooth.
What are you talking about?
Oh no, from this angle, look like it's her has broken.
What are you doing?
Oh, there you go.
That's why I have a towel there, so she doesn't ruin my.
Oh no, she's ruining stuff. Oh well.
Okay.
Yeah, but no, I like the I like the buckets. I'm definitely got a couple of buckets coming. So yeah.
It just picked that up on the camera, CJH. Okay. So CGH Entertainment Plus, is Movie Talk just about Kathy Kennedy, James Gunn, and Snyder? So many movie news, and yet we're always talking about the same three topics here in MME. We want to know Max's VHS reviews on movies he buys. What's your favorite VHS? I have to say my favorite VHS has got to be Star Wars Episode 3, the Korean edition, which is very rare.
That is rare.
And there was bootleg editions of Episode 3, but
that's hard to do. Yeah.
George Lucas, one of the mistakes he did, very few mistakes he made, he did episode 1 and episode 2 on VHS, and then because DVD was so prevalent, he skipped it. So people couldn't complete their collection on VHS of the prequel trilogy. But it was officially released in Korea.
Yeah.
So I have it. And I have a bootleg of it too.
Yeah.
But no, there's only 3 topics. Deal with it. No, I'm just kidding. I covered other topics and then he went silent in the chat. There's always news about Star Wars, Kathy Kennedy, James Gunn's always in the conversation. That's a good thing for DC. That's good. Should 90s Zilla ever return in the Monsterverse?
Who?
I think the Matthew Broderick Godzilla movie. The one where Puff Daddy did the soundtrack.
Yeah, that one is horrible.
I like it. No, I like it, but I don't see there's a return to it. It's very 90s. Yeah, I really enjoy that. I would have loved to see a sequel to that movie back in the day, but I think the time has passed. And honestly, the current Godzilla universe is a lot more profitable with the new Godzilla. So, there's no one saying restore the. How would you even say that? Restore the 90s USA Godzilla, because there was Toho Godzilla in the 90s. But restore the 90s verse Godzilla. How would you even prevent that? Zilla? Restore the Zilla? I don't know. There's no trendy way to say that. Thoughts on Tom Cruise didn't wear a parachute while moving around during the plane stunt in Mission Impossible. It would have been too dangerous if deployed. It would have killed me. I just had thin wires. He's a maniac. More power to him.
He's the devil for a reason.
I don't know what deal he made.
Indeed. He really is, indeed. Crazy man. Crazy. He can do whatever he wants.
Toho calls that one Zilla. I mean, I would like this. Here's my answer, CGH. I would amend it to I would like to see a fan-made Zilla sequel.
Well, the character's coming in public domain in 2032, but it will be the 1954 version, like the garbage version of the character.
Actually, CGH, I want you to make an AI Zilla sequel. Even if it's 5 minutes, I'll watch it. Okay. Thoughts on James Gunn says wanted to create a world that wasn't so strictly black and white. There are some characters that are really almost saintly, like Superman, he elaborates. There are some characters who are almost pretty terrible, like Lex Luthor. But I don't think Lex is all bad, and I don't think Superman is all good. All those people in between, the Guy Gardners, the Jimmy Olsens of the world, are more complex in their moralities and what they think is okay.
Well, yeah, we've seen all the characters. We've seen Superman, we've seen everybody. I just, we'll see what this universe created. I think it's probably going to be a decent universe for people to get into and stuff like that. The TV shows, we'll see. Green Lantern comes out next year. Hopefully that's a good show, even I don't like the show taking place on Earth. Hopefully we do get a couple scenes in space with the other Lanterns and the Guardians who created the Lantern Corps. Hopefully we get that next year. And, we got Peacemaker coming out next month. Damn, there's no marketing for that shit.
And he is not a black or white character. Like, he's many shades of gray of what he's doing in his storylines too. So I think I don't want that every time, but I do think it makes an interesting story.
It's a balance.
And that keeps you on your toes as a viewer of like what's going to happen.
Yeah, what's going to happen next? Yeah. So yeah, hopefully, yeah.
If you just have cut and dry characters, you pretty much know where they're going to go.
Yeah.
I don't always know what Peacemaker's going to do.
No, he's just one crazy guy. That's a crazy person. Crazy. He'll be a good friend though, but crazy.
Thoughts on Nathan Fillion says Guy Gardner is a bit high-strung in Lanterns. I've done a scene in Lanterns. We filmed it already where he's contently smug. It's neat to see him in different environments and how those different environments will affect a character.
Well, hopefully, because John and Hal Jordan does not like him. They punch him. They give him a punch a couple of times in the comics. So, we'll see what his character does. Hopefully, he's in 1 or 2 episodes in Lanterns. If he's in 1 episode, that's great. At least we saw one Green Lantern in the damn show. So so yeah, hopefully it's a good show next year. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a trailer maybe by the end of this year or next year, or well yeah, because HBO has to do what you call it, the season stuff for next year.
Yes, he's putting add new comments. I'm trying to finish a mailbag. You better not add too many.
Trying to.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Thoughts on James Gunn and how he ended up casting David Cornsmith and Rachel Brosnan together? We mixed and matched these different actors and actresses to find out not only who was the best Clark and who was the best Lois, but who was the best Clois. Who had the best together, he says. I do think that David was the best Clark, Rachel was the best Lois, but they also had most chemistry together. That's great to hear. Honestly, when I think of like even Zack Snyder of Cavill, I love Cavill, but I can easily see, and I don't have any proof of it, that they just cast Cavill first and then as an afterthought got Amy Adams. Not that she should be an afterthought. I love Amy Adams. But it's interesting that they wanted, before they made a decision, they wanted to see the dynamic with Clark and Lois first. Clois. Yeah. So I like that.
Yeah, that's good. Like Smallville vibes. Yeah.
All right. Hashtag blame CGH because I can't finish the mailbag. Let's see how many added. 3 more.
Oh my. Okay, let's hurry up.
All right. I'm not going to do all these now. See, I can't finish the mailbag because of CGH. Thoughts on where the Saw movies may go now that James Gunn, is that how you spell it? I think so. Owns the rights now or something. I wish success for James Gunn. I really like the first Aquaman. I think he can be an amazing director. For me, he's a little bit more hit or miss.
What happened with the second Aquaman is not his fault. Like, really, you got Dolph Lundgren, who said that that's not James Wan movie that we saw in theaters. They'll be chopped that up into 2,000 pieces.
I believe it.
Yeah, and you could tell by watching the movie, like it's not good. It's not a good movie. It's like a 5 out of 10 movie. That's it. Like, and because how you go from amazing movie from a great movie from 2018 to not a great sequel, and and hopefully I can't wait to see what his next project is. Hopefully he's The Conjuring. He's not directing the next Conjuring movie. Have you watched the Conjuring franchise?
No, I don't want to see that.
You should. And then what else? Oh, I don't know what's the next movie. I know he's going to do the live action Gargoyles TV show from Disney Plus. We'll see if that happens.
I forgot about that. That's really cool.
Yeah, with his partner working on that. Other than that, what else? Hopefully he does the superhero movie down the line. Whether it's Spawn, whether it's maybe Ninja Turtles, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let me get this final question, and then we're gonna end.
Yes, sir.
It's almost 12:30. I got to work tomorrow. Did you have I hope your Juneteenth was good.
Indeed, it was.
Cool. Since my Robin question wasn't answered, it was changed to Max. To why is James Gunn wrong? I ask again and reword it.
Okay.
Will Dick Grayson show up in the DCU as Dick Grayson Robin in flashbacks and in other scenes as Nightwing?
Are you talking about in the Teen Titans movie?
I think he's saying in general, when he shows up, is he going to be Nightwing already and only portrayed as Robin in flashbacks? Do you want to see Robin first or Nightwing first? I think is what he's asking.
Nightwing. We already know his origin story. We know he's an orphan.
Can I be honest? I think in James Gunn's universe, I probably would rather see Robin first.
Well, depends.
And not just Nightwing and his flashbacks of Robin.
Like, well, we already know that James Gunn confirmed that the DCU that the Bat family is established. Nightwing is already Nightwing. Barbara Gordon is already Batgirl. Jason Todd is Jason. Tim Drake is Tim Drake. I forgot the other one. So like they already, but if we do that we are getting the Titan movie, I think we're probably gonna get flashback of Dick Grayson there, or the DCU Batman movie. But we'll see. Those movies are Those are movies like probably 3 or 4 years away, perhaps. So yeah. We probably get Batman in the sequel of Superman. So yeah, we'll see.
All right. Well, thank you guys. I might do more individual streams too if you guys want to add to the mailbag to catch up on mailbag, because it is a great way to interact with members besides the members live is another benefit. Mailbag's not going anywhere. Thank you, Jacob, CJH, and everyone that keeps the mailbag alive. I'd like to see more people that are members, participate. Anthony, I'd love to see you in there. And Anthony, you know what? Not that you're not allowed to be on the mic drop, but don't forget the mic drop. Save this in your contacts info, everyone, because me and Voltaire want to give another $20. We still have to find Senior Nerd. I still got to contact Senior Nerd.
Oh, I forgot Senior Nerd exists.
Senior Nerd.
He's blocking the chat.
No. He's been taking his time, which is fine.
He's healing.
But Anthony, would you consider leaving a mic drop? Call that number. You might be eligible for $20 this month.
Gotta see.
I mean, that's better than the mailbag. You could leave in the mailbag, but you're like, I'm on panels. But if you want to be eligible for $20, leave a hot one. Leave a mic drop moment.
Mm-hmm.
Isaac, I love you, bro. I'm going to go check out your videos soon. Go check out Isaac. I think I've been extremely genuine today, Isaac. All right. So good night, everyone. Have a good one. Thanks, Anthony.
Go to sleep.